So in this video we will talk about the concept of pass by value. What does it mean and how does it work in Java? How does it impact the method calls and the updates that we do to the variables? So let's start. In this example, you see we have a main method. In the main method we have an integer variable with the value of 10. Then we are calling a method m and passing this integer variable I to this method, and once the method execution is complete, in the main method we are printing the value of I. Now let's come to the method m. So in the m method we see that it is accepting an integer argument, that's why we are passing the value of I. And then this input argument, we are storing that input argument in an integer variable j, and then we are changing the value of j and printing the value of j. So what do you think if we run this program, what would happen? So let's try to guess, let's try to run the program on paper and see what will happen. So at this point the value is 10, so I is 10, and then at this point when we call the method we pass this variable to I, which is stored in the variable j in method m, and then the j's value is 20. So when method m completes its execution, at that point of time the value of j is 20. So on the output on the console we will see the first value printed as 20. Then the control goes back to the main, and now main prints after method I value of I, which in this case is 10. So we see the output on the console 20 and 10. Let's change the program. Let's say that the variable in the method m is now renamed to I, and we are printing the value of I. What happens now? Now would we see the output same as before, 20 and 10, or because we are passing the value I to this method and this variable is also I, and then we are changing the value I to 20 and printing this value, does that mean that if we change the I here, it will impact the I declared in the main block? In this case, if we run this program, the method m will complete its execution first. It will print the value of I on the console, which is 20. The control goes back to the main method, but in this case this I is not changed. This I is not changed even though the name of the variables are same. There is no impact what we do with I in the method m. So I remains the same and we see the same output 20 and 10. The reason behind this is only the name is same but the variables are actually different, and because Java is pass by value, which means that whenever Java passes a value from one method to another method, it always creates a copy and passes the value of that copy. What does that mean? So let's say at this point of time we have an integer variable I. In case of primitive variables, the variable holds the value directly. So let's say this is the variable and variables are containers. So let's say it holds the value 10. Under the hood it will be a bit pattern, some binary code that will represent the value 10, but in simple terms I is a variable in main method which is basically a holder, and the value of that holder is 10. So we see this is the main method, the I declared in the main method, and the value of I is 10. Now when we call the method m and pass the value I, what we are saying that we are not actually passing the value 10 directly. Java will create a copy of 10 and it will pass that copy to this method 10. So these two values are not same. These two values are not same. They look same, but in fact they are the copy of each other. So these are not same. Sorry. Yeah. So these are not same. Now in the main method, now let's go inside the method m. This value is stored in another variable with name I. Only the name is same I, but they are different variables. So in the method m, I has a value of 10, which is basically a copy. So this is different. Now if we change the value I to 20, it will only impact this variable and this copy of the value. So I is now 20, and when we execute the SOP, it goes to the console and prints the value 20. Now method m completes its execution, so this is complete, and control goes back to the main method. And in the main method, the next statement is to print the value of I. So main method will work on its own copy, which is basically this one. So to print this method on the console, it will get the value of I, which is this value. So we see 10 on the console as output. So just to summarize, Java passes everything by value. So it creates a copy of the bits or the value that a variable holds, and it passes that value, not the actual reference. So that's why in case of primitives, when we create a copy, when we copy the value, we actually copy the exact value. And that's why if we change that value in another method, let's say, it won't impact the actual variable. So that's why we see that even if we changed the past value to 20, it didn't change the actual value. It remains 10. Thank you.